Today I want to share with you a little over-the-shoulder tutorial around the latest Tony Robbins advertisement for his 5-day challenge. So I signed up for this challenge, and once I did, I realized that 1.4 million other people had also signed up, and that got me thinking. It got me thinking, what is he using in his copy that is making it so compelling that 1.4 million people are clicking? Of course, he's got the brand name on his side. Of course, he's a household name, but what else can we learn from the copy and we use in our own businesses? So here we go. The first thing, this is the advertisement on Facebook that I clicked through. This is after the challenge had already started, so I didn't see this at the time, but this is the kind of layout of the advert. So the first thing he does is uses his name up front. First thing you see is his name, Tony Robbins. Of course, he's going to use that as leverage. So that's going to stop you scrolling immediately. The second thing I wanted to point out was that he starts with the outcome. He starts with craft your 2023 success plan. That is what you're going to get from the challenge, live with Tony Robbins. You instantly think you're going to get his time. You're going to be in the presence of greatness to craft your challenge, your plan together. Then he talks about the benefits. What are the ultimate benefits of doing this? You'll gain the unfair advantage to next level your success. Joy, abundance. Those are ultimate outcomes. We have to make sure we're telling people those. In today's challenging times, here Tony's using empathy. He's saying, I get you. I know things are challenging right now. I'm not pretending everything's perfect. And as a reader, we want to feel like the person that we're going to be working with empathizes with the situation we're in. He then uses a strong call to action and urgency. He says, click below to watch the full challenge replay before it's too late. It makes you want to click. But Tony, there's something we could do that's slightly better here. We could be specific. Where's the specificity? What could we say about it being too late? What would be too late that you'd miss your chance to have this next level success, to not feel the joy and abundance? Let's be a bit more specific there next time. And he also uses social proof. So throughout this ad, these were coming up all the time. So all the people that were joining the challenge, that is really, really strong social proof. It's the bandwagon effect. It gets us clicking once we know other people are into it as well. So let's move on to talk about the email I then got. So I want to just dissect this email for you a little bit, just so we can learn what these copywriting tricks and tips that Tony Robbins is using. So first of all, he's using my name in the subject line. Eleanor, here's your first step. My name is in the subject with a clear call to action. He's saying, here is your first step. I want to click. I want to find out what my first step is. Again, he's using his name as the first thing you read. Of course, he is. Why wouldn't he? We might not be in the position to do that right now, to leverage our brand name, but maybe in the future it's something to consider. He starts by using a psychological technique called future pacing. This is where we paint a picture of the future. We can do this by using the word imagine, like Tony's done as the first word. So what would life feel like? He's using emotion, you feeling like, what would it feel like when you finally achieve it? Who's with you? What does life look like when you have dreamed a goal or so big it scares you? He's getting us to paint this picture when we first open the email. He then does a little bit of self-identifying. So here we want someone to nod and say, yes, that's me. You're here for one reason. You aren't the kind of person that settles. You're not willing to look at life and say, oh, that's good enough. When in reality, you know you have another level of success, happiness, service to others, and fulfillment. So not only is he getting to nod and say, yeah, I'm not the kind of person that says, oh, that's good enough. He also does a little ego stroke as well, because nobody wants to be the person that settles. They want to be the person that doesn't settle. So again, you feel good about yourself and nodding along to that. He then creates a clear call to action and curiosity. He says, start here with the advice that Tony Robbins lives by. Who does not want to know the advice that Tony Robbins lived by? You want to click that. So that's how he uses curiosity with a clear call to action. He then goes into a bit of credibility boosting. It says Tony's been in the business of helping people just like you unleash their inner potential and discover what it means to live life on their terms for over 40 years. We know his expertise, we know his credibility. In your emails, in your websites, you need to be really building that credibility and help people see why they should trust you. He then goes on to use comparison as a motivation. So he comparing things that seem relatively small with something that could really change your life. So he says, it might mean using a couple of vacation days to attend a live changing virtual event. It might mean investing in coaching so you can finally stop the excuses and follow through. It might mean choosing to listen to this episode of the Tony Robbins podcast while you cook dinner. So he's kind of saying these are all things you can do every day. It's just the little choices you make. It's motivating, and he's using comparison as a motivation. He then goes on to talk about the ultimate outcome again. He talks about one of the best decisions you can make to ensure your life is full of happiness, success, and fulfillment is to feed your mind. That's the ultimate outcome. But again, Tony, I think that we could be a bit more specific here. Can we link it back to the story that someone imagined in that first paragraph? So what did they imagine when they would feel when they finally achieved their goals? How can we link this last sentence back to help them envisage that again? And that's going to be a much more powerful closer for this email. But that's my over the shoulder tutorial about how Tony Robbins got 1.4 million people to click and enter his 5-day challenge, and how we can use his copywriting tips and tricks to help just maybe a few more people click our buttons, or hopefully one day millions of people to click.